Hello and welcome to another episode of Clearly Ambiguous. What are we talking about today? Well, you know what our favorite topic here is at this channel, and there is some more of it. Now, it's not something that has happened recently, but we've tried to analyze what President Trump has been saying. Now, and why are probably we focused at him and why we should be looking at what he says or does. The reason for that is that there was a dramatic shift in American policy towards India when President Trump came to office the first time around. And then again, we are seeing him do a lot of other things in his second term. Now, we will come to that in a while, but let's see the things that he had probably said, which we were actually interested in. The first thing that President Trump had ended up saying in his run-up to becoming the Prime Minister, the President of the United States, was that he would like to stop wars. And while we were thinking that it was a very noble thing that he is going to do, that he is going to move away from the United States policy of propagating conflict everywhere in the world, we were hoping that he would actually wind down the American military operations everywhere and sort of bring balance and peace to most of the regions in the world. And he had shown a lot of interest in, and a lot of talk was about him trying to negotiate, because it seemed like President Trump was closer to Moscow in the fact that he had better relations with President Putin than the Biden administration, right? So we were all hoping that he would probably be able to prevail on President Putin and probably get him to call off his military operations against Ukraine. And we were actually hoping that he would be able to talk some sense into President Zelensky, who is basically a warmonger and is holding on to the power because he can basically propagate his war upon the Russia. And what it does is that President Zelensky basically is a very interesting person when he does not want to achieve peace, so to speak, but he keeps talking about peace. But what he ends up doing is that he is going to every country in the world and essentially asking them for support in the form of money, in the form of weapons, right? And basically he has gotten most of the Western Europe involved by playing the old card of Soviet Union coming towards the West, or Russia is expanding towards the West, whereas Russia was not moving at all since the collapse of Soviet Union, right? Since the collapse of Soviet Union, Russia had no intentions of moving westwards, but it seems that West likes to basically arm itself against this threat of Russia and pushes Russia to a corner where Russia is left with no choice but to respond. Anyways, everybody can debate on that, and we'll probably do a different and separate episode on that as well, because we have not touched that topic for a while. But let's come to the fact that President Trump was actually hoping to achieve peace, and he ended up doing this entire fiasco in Oval Office with President Zelensky, where he was basically sitting down in front and he was like trying to confront and so on and so forth. I think he is making international diplomacy seem like a child's play, because that's what he understands, and he thinks everybody is actually operating at that plane, which is not true. Then he jumped onto the fact that he would like to establish the American economic supremacy over everyone by waging these tariff wars, so to speak, and he had reciprocal tariffs. He had that whole board that he was waving to everyone that you are going to have tariff, you are going to have tariff, there's 25% tariff there, 55% tariff, and I'm going to squeeze it. So that, and what he was trying to do in that case was that he's imposing these tariffs, and everybody is basically running to him and making these deals. Singapore's coming, and we are going to have a call from the British Prime Minister, or this country has called or that country has called, I was manning the phone. Actually, they like to use this term, and I've seen this term using the phones, working the phones, it seems. So it makes Trump look like a glorified call center worker, right? And wasn't that something that they had probably outsourced to lesser mortals like us Indians or Filipinos or elsewhere in the Southeast Asia, working the telephone, so to speak? Well, I think he is trying to get the jobs back to, and he's trying to make America great again by taking some of the jobs that have gone to lesser mortals, such as the nations in the rest of the world, and he's trying to get those back and jobs back in the United States. And the first thing that he's trying to do is get working the telephones back. Okay, so yeah, right. So we should probably, applaud President Trump working the telephones. But what did he get out of that entire deal that he has said that, he signed with China? Well, China does not play the Trump game, so to speak, right? No matter what United States might like to think, I don't think so. China plays the United States game. China was already exploring alternative markets in the form of India, in the form of Europe. And Americans should also come out of this illusion that they are the only market. Yes, they are the biggest economy right now, but the way they are going and the pressures their economy is facing right now, they might not be that in the very near future, because there are other people who are doing good. And I don't want to be as narcissistic as President Trump, but yes, even I'd like to say India is gold right now. India is gold right now. Right? As he was saying the other day that the United States is gold right now. Well, so eventually he has got the rare earths being exported from China again towards United States. So because instead of United States trying to break the monopoly over rare earth processing with China has about 90% monopoly on that. Right? There's not even no country which is coming close to that. So, that's probably the reason why United States wants to go into countries like Iran or Pakistan, where there are a lot of mineral resources, and if you just probably arm twist them enough, they will probably relinquish their control over their minerals and sell it to United States, because he likes to do deals. He's been doing deals. Wow. He does like to live in his own world. Anyways, so yes, so the Chinese have negotiated a deal. And what have they done? Basically, they have done the same thing. They have not agreed to anything more. They will continue. It's just that President Trump's name is on the current deal with China. So that's what he's doing. And probably that's the reason why he's gone after Iran as well. He did not like any other president's name on the nuclear deal with Iran. So he's now renegotiating that deal by doing whatever he has done, and the success of that operation is still questionable, and his own intelligence community is actually questioning the success of that. Another thing that President Trump keeps speaking about is that he was responsible for peace amongst India and Pakistan, which is something which has not been endorsed by India till now. And I don't think so that's going to be happening any time in future. And probably Trump is trying his tricks of this is a very childish way of his diplomacy, where he's probably trying to push Indians in a corner and hoping that, Indians will just succumb to his pressure, because he's just going to... I don't think so that's going to happen, right? He is making a mockery of this entire thing, and Indians are not going to negotiate just because he wants to arm twist us. We would always, we now have a more robust foreign policy, and we do not just succumb to pressure. And if Trump is thinking it will happen, it's not going to happen. Actually, it's not happening anywhere. He has gone ahead in G7 as well, and probably nobody wanted to talk to him there either, because he made a pig's breakfast of whatever he was doing there as well. I have used that thing in relation to President Trump in many number of times. Anyways, he is quite funny anyways, so, and he is making a pig's breakfast of a lot of things. Another thing that President Trump has not been able to achieve is for Europe to, just spend more because on defense. And now he is claiming success that he's made everybody sign up for that magical 5%. And Europe should probably, all European economies should use that. And, that will probably talk some sense into these Europeans because, if they have to spend more, they will want to understand that they probably would be better if they just normalize their ties with Russia, so they would not need these extra added expenditures, so to speak, which Trump is basically forcing them to. Trump would like to do that because if Europeans spend more, he's just going to go back to his own country and say, you know what, look, I'm making them spend more and we will disengage. And, Trump, he's always, been not a big fan of Article 5 as well. So he's just basically going to claim another victory over there. How much of a victory it will be has to be seen in future. But it will become more dearer to the European countries to protect themselves, right? And I think I have a suggestion for the Europeans. While they have to use extra dollars or extra money to bolster their defenses, they should probably start manufacturing more and not be so dependent on American military hardware. And Chinese are ready to sell weapons to everyone. So why don't the Germans, the British and everybody, and unfortunately Spain has not agreed to terms and conditions, 5% condition. So yeah, that is, and he's gone back and said, I'm going to negotiate with the Spanish and they're going to pay, if they don't give me money this way, I'm going to take it that way. He thinks, anyways, it's okay. He thinks, it's okay. So I think the Europeans should buy Chinese weapons. That'll be nice. Because if they buy Chinese weapons, then Russians will say, you know what, you're helping the Chinese economy. So yeah. So that's what Europeans can do. They can buy Chinese weapons, increase their trade, defense trade with China. Not buy American hardware, because if you look at it, is the Western military hardware all that it claims to be? They have practically thrown every modern technology that they have at Russia in Ukraine. And Russia still always has had an answer to whatever the West has, unless it's basically more troops that they're ready to put there. But then again, Russia seems to be answering to every new weapon that comes out of the Western arsenal. If you look at what happened between India and Pakistan, not all weapons that Pakistanis used were of Chinese make. A lot of them were the Americans. And look how they have performed. Pathetically, I must say. And the fabled stealth fighter that Americans would want us Indians to have. See, they wanted us to have F-18s, and we ended up going for Rafale Marines and not F-18s because F-18s just seem to be falling off their, aircraft carriers. They just fall into the sea. Wow, these F-18s, wow. They just, what do you want to say? That, the greatest navy in the world has pathetic manpower that is not able to tie down its own aircraft. But if you don't accept that, you say, no, we have the best naval personnel anywhere, and human error is not a possibility, then probably your equipment is not good enough to just keep tied down on your aircraft carriers and it keeps falling into the sea. Which one is it? And then again, that fabled F-35. We have one of those in our country almost. Today is probably the 11th day or the 12th day. It has been grounded in Kerala. And I think the pilot should be provided. I'll tell you what, we are trying to give them, the Royal Navy, a hangar from the Air India and all. Probably we should give the said pilot a houseboat in the backwaters of Kerala, right, while he waits for the repairs to take place. How many Rafales or Sukhois have you seen stranded in countries like this and waiting repairs? And if this is what we have to buy, what are we going to do? Like, we want to probably use them against. If we use, so who are we going to use it against? We only would probably engage against Pakistan or against China, and what's going to happen? We're going to take off probably from one of our air bases. We'll take off in an F-35, and probably a couple of hours later, that F-35 might be grounded in maybe Afghanistan somewhere, hoping to be recovered because it's had a hydraulics failure, so to speak. Right? And I think that's the reason why President Trump was talking to the Pakistani chief about probably using their air bases for conducting these B-2 bomber strike, because B-2 is also a very aging aircraft, and probably the age is talking right now. And they were not confident that if they fly all the way to Iran, they'll probably be able to fly on their own steam back. I'm not casting any aspersions on the ability of the pilots, but only thing I'm saying is that American equipment does not seem to be what it is hyped up to be. See, the Chinese have, I think Americans should do what the Chinese are doing. See, the Chinese have realized that they have developed certain weapon technology out there, and it has probably not performed, and they're probably going back to the drawing boards, and they have now some amount of combat experience. They probably will come, and that's why I say that Indians now will have to find, countermeasures to the countermeasures other people might be building with regards to the success that we've had in Operation Sindoor. So we will probably have to rethink a lot of things, and we probably need to, while everybody else seems to be increasing their defense budgets, probably we should be increasing our defense spending as well. And while we have proved it to the world that Make in India technology, defense tech works, we probably need to invest in that much more. Another thing, if you look at whatever President Trump has been saying, he's basically he's making a sales pitch. He ended up using words like, nobody does it better than we do. Versus what? Precision strikes? I think everybody does it better than you do. Everybody else who does precision strikes has far less collateral damage, President Trump, than Americans do. Americans over the years have had a lot of collateral damage and a lot of friendly fire incidents as well. Would you like to watch few videos? I can share some links which are available very freely on YouTube. So, come on, right? And as far as you achieving peace, it's, I don't think so Americans are interested in peace whatsoever. The only thing President Trump is interested in is that he looks like a peacemaker so that he may be given the Nobel Peace Prize. And I think that is getting, it's getting a little, repetitive, isn't it? And I think I need to also abstain and probably think of other topics to talk about, because I think by now you as my audience will also get bored and inundated with the fact that we keep talking about this narcissistic gentleman who just does not know head from its tail. So, and he thinks that he is doing fantastic deals, whereas everybody else is also thinking about those deals and making other deals. President Trump has been threatening Indians that he would not do trade with us. Well, at the same point of time, we have increased our trade with the British, and we've already signed a free trade agreement with them, and we are looking for more deals with Europe and probably do more business with South America or even China. So, thanks but no thanks, President Trump. We really do not need to do any deals till the time you are going to be arrogant enough and not recognize the other side. Anyways, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you've enjoyed, please hit the like button. At least share it with one more person so that somebody could subscribe. And there are those people who watch this and do not subscribe. Subscribe, it's absolutely free. And please mention your feedback in the comment section as well. Thanks for watching. Until next time, you take care of yourself. Bye for now.